Welcome to Mad Dodge Productions. I am the Mad Libertarian. I'm here with Pirate Nation, and tonight the rebel media is burning down. Let's watch it burn and drink a beer. How are you tonight, Pirate Nation?
Oh, I'm all right. I heard about this Rebel Media drama, and so I thought I'd check it out and see what was going down. Turns out that, you know, it might be a little bit more overplayed than what's truthfully happening there, but yeah, yeah, it's entertainment.
Oh man, I did show you some clips before we went on air, but I failed to mention on purpose, honestly, that Esri actually came out. He came out with a video about a guy he fired. He was a cameraman for that British guy, Tommy. Oh man, he got arrested not that long ago. What was his name again? Works for the Rebel Media. He was protesting Muslims and stuff. It was Tommy something.
I couldn't tell you his name, but I think I know what you're talking about. I think I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, no, and he had a cameraman, and supposedly Ezra even admitted that he paid out kickbacks to him as hush money. He even said in a video, and they kept blackmailing him. Finally, stopped paying, and went and no bullshit covered this, and he covered it really well. And then saying this is he's blackmailing me. This is why I might as well just say it, and then never really said why. And then immediately after that video came out, Gavin said he was going to leave at the end of the month. And actually, tomorrow is his last day. So Gavin's out. They fired my cute little news chick with pigtails. Laura Southern's out of there. Like, I'm not going to watch them no more. Like, who do they have left? The fat
Oh,
chick and the Jewish people. But I'm just saying. That's what they
right.
got.
Right.
Shit. They get rid
Well,
of the funny guy, get rid of the hot chick with pigtails and the hot blonde, and they got the fat Jewish guy and the fat chick left.
what was
Fuck
it that
off.
happened with Lauren Southern, though? I didn't hear that story.
Undisclosed. She just left on mutual terms. In other words, non-discretion
Ah,
or non can't freaking say what happened. You know what I mean?
right, right. Well, that's there's something fishy going on with the Rebel Media. I think it all seems to happen all in the span of such a short time period. It doesn't seem like there's a coincidence. I think the dude's trying to overhaul himself because he's not as big as Infowars apparently is.
Oh man, and that's a good point because the co-founder left also after they went to Charlottesville when he didn't want them to. And he opposed the whole Charlottesville thing. I don't think he was on Antifa's side. Um, his name either. I really just watched it for the chicken pigtails. Come on now. But he left not that long ago. So okay, Laura Southern left about 3 months ago, and then they've been crumbling ever since.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely say that Rebel Media has fallen off of the radar. Uh, that they haven't been as prominent for sure as they were, like say in the fall last year. You know, in fall of last year, all I was hearing was shit from Rebel Media and shit from Infowars, and now I don't even hear about either of them at all. And other media outlets too. I've heard a couple of different other ones. Can't think of any off of hand right now, but yeah, it's just it's a dying breed. It's a dying industry, and that's why you have the outlashes like the New York Times at PewDiePie, right? PewDiePie is clearly not a fucking Nazi, All right. Anybody and their fucking dog can see that. They can easily find that out. However, the New York Times is dying, gasping for air because not even their website is doing good. It's not. And so they do this. They do this to stir up the drama, to bring in the views, to make it. It's a attempt to stay relevant.
Well, that's true for the New York Times or the Washington Post, but the Rebel Media is alternative media.
Well, no, I'm just saying that there are many possibilities that could be happening with the Rebel Media. I'm not saying that what happened with the New York Times and PewDiePie is exactly what's going on with the Rebel Media by any stretch of the imagination. That's not. I'm just saying that what we could be possibly looking at is some sort of attempt to stay relevant because they've lost so much relevance. It's just an idea. I was just saying the New York Times thing to say, well, look at what these guys did. They went off the fucking deep end. So I wouldn't put it past Rebel Media to think that overhauling on their people would be a good fucking move to stay relevant for some reason. You never know how they're going to think, though.
Well, no, and we could dig a little bit deeper because I don't think you've heard everything. So, all right. So they have these petitions all the time, right? They're like, hey, they're doing this and we need to fight it up in Canada. The beer taxes and all this other stuff. And then when they get the email address for the petition, after that, they start to spam the email asking for money. DNC and the Republican Party, hell, even the Libertarian Party. I had to freaking turn off my notifications for them. They were asking for so much money. Like, shut up, you're libertarians, earn your own money.
Wait, who was asking for money? The Rebel Media was?
That's right, yeah. Asking. Oh yeah, after that, one of the people left. I don't remember. Laura Loomer. I do remember her fucking name. All right, cool. Score one for me. Now, after she went into that play and started screaming, right? She got arrested for disorderly conduct. You live in the United States. How much is that ticket? $1,000 at the most? $500 most likely?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure offhand. I think you're somewhere in the ballpark around the grand at the most. Yeah.
They were asking for $25,000 in fundraising for her legal defense fund. Right?
Just, oh, come on. Like it's okay. So now I'm just going to go ahead and say with what little you've told me so far, my money is definitely on this is some sort of attempt to try to stay relevant. Look at what the Rebel Media just did. They fired, Pigtail Girl. Can't remember her name. Sorry, you didn't deserve to get fired for being in a fucking podcast. I'm just saying that.
Fucking name. You have so little faith, man. If you had faith, you would remember her name. It's Faith Goldie, and she's a cute little blonde pigtail. Or no, I think the blonde is Laura Southern. I don't know. They all blend together.
Oh yeah, the brunette, the pigtail brunette. Faith Goldie, yeah, the one that got fired for the interview that she did. Now,
I listened to that interview, and she did not say anything bad at all. She did laugh at a couple jokes, and at the very end, he was like, "Okay, so all my listeners want to know, does Azri Levine eat pig?" And she's like, "I don't know if he's kosher or not, but if you gave him free bacon, he might eat it." That was her one joke. I think that's what got her fired.
Oh no! Okay, that's that's almost definitely what got her fired.
Joke. I'd make that joke. That's great.
Holy hell! What a way to go out to just one shot, and the boss was like, "No, fuck you. You're done. You you sack of shit. How dare you say that about me?
Yeah,
I can just imagine it. After seeing that cheesy video that you showed me of him talking about, well, you know, she went too far, so we had to say goodbye. Rough week.
yeah, yeah, rough week. I wonder if he got any free bacon this week. You can't fire me, douchebag.
Hey, hey, you want some of that chicken bacon ranch? I can make you a sub sandwich. It'll be real good. Where the fuck is when you need him?
Well, no, and he likes beer with all the beer fucking things they've been putting out. No, but I like Gavin McInnes. All right, so I wonder where Gavin's gonna land. So here's the is on YouTube, right? And the rumor is InfoWars. Now we only have one viewer right now, but I usually get people that watch after the show. If you have a different rumor, throw it in the comments. Let me know. I'm really interested in where Gavin's going to land in a week or two. And go ahead, Pirate.
Well, first off, I just wanted to say that Gavin McInnes is the only reason I even knew what the fucking Rebel Media was. So, I had never heard of it up until, I heard about this Gavin McInnes guy, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's funny. And then I heard that he was with the Rebel Media, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. I guess I can give them a check out. And generally, I didn't really like a lot of the stuff that the Rebel Media was putting out there towards the end. It was, at first it was decent, it was okay news, and then you had Gavin McInnes doing his funny ass fucking bullshit, and Lauren Southern going over the top and whatnot, and that was all entertaining. Well, now you've taken the entertainment out of it, and it's just mediocre news. So, where's the money? Where's the viewers going to come from out of that? Honestly, Rebel Media has fucked itself with this move.
Yeah, no, and I think they messed up, kind of like the Blaze. All right, I've Glenn Beck was doing a tour where it was like a comedy / political tour. Casted it in theaters in my town, and me and my best friend at the time, we went and saw it, dude. That's how much I like Glenn Beck. I paid like $30 for a ticket. We bought a few beers beforehand and went and watched it, and it was hilarious. But he actually started to gain traction with the Blaze with Tommy Lauren, and he fired her ass for having wrong think. Now, I don't agree with her on abortion, and she had just 2 weeks ago said she was against abortion. But that's not a reason to fire somebody. She didn't shoot up in your bathroom, Glenn. Like, she said an opinion, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually take up I don't want to say I take up a strong stance against abortion, because I do in a way, but then I also believe that it's there to be used in cases of life or death scenarios. You can't blame somebody for having an abortion because the birth was pretty much definitely going to kill them.
Oh, well, this isn't an abortion stream, but I was bringing that up as
right. Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't support it, but I do see where it's necessary in certain aspects. But
and I could see that, and we would have a deeper argument on a different stream. But I'm talking about her getting fired.
Right. No, but I'm about to say that that is completely fucking stupid. Just because she supports abortion has nothing to do with her job. That has nothing to do with fucking. I mean, okay, maybe it has a little bit to do with her job, because some people will see that and be like, oh, well, she supports abortion, so.
Well.
Obviously, that means the station supports abortion, but that is a very small number of people.
I would come back at you with the only valid point Glenn really had was 2 weeks ago on her show. She literally called people baby murderers over abortion. And then she goes on The View and totally does a 180. That's the only argument I had that I was like, oh, okay. I can see
okay.
that.
Well, all right. Well, that does seem that's pretty disingenuous right there. Yeah, that's two-faced, but still firing her for that seems a little bit excessive.
Absolutely. And for what Faith Goldie did, she made a bacon joke. That I listened to that whole segment. I don't listen to that guy. I just looked up Faith Goldie's interview that got her fired, and there was a 12-minute segment of it, and I listened to it all. And she said nothing wrong at all. She laughed at a couple jokes, and you got to do that. You can't go on like somebody's podcast and just be like, "You're an idiot. You're fucking wrong. Screw you, racist." You're just gonna get booted out. You can't. You gotta, be polite. And that's all she did until the end. He made a funny comment, and she commented back. And obviously, her boss, who probably does eat bacon from the way he reacted. Yes.
Is it bacon that is a problem with Jews, or no? That's with that's with Muslims, isn't it?
That's an Old Testament thing. It's both.
I thought it was Muslims that only did that one.
Oh no, and everything's gotta be kosher too. That's why you have kosher dill pickles. They're actually blessed by a rabbi, man. That's what kosher means. You didn't know that?
You're fucking kidding me, Mad. No way. They don't bless my fucking pickles. They're not blessed.
They do.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, there's just straight up dill pickles, and then there's kosher dill pickles. Kosher is yeah, dude. I'm serious. Look it up. Maybe I'm wrong. There's 3 people now. Somebody in the comments tell me if I'm wrong. But kosher means it was blessed by a rabbi.
Oh my god, I didn't think that they did that for fucking dill pickles. That's just what a waste of fucking resources for that, like, synagogue. Damn.
They got nothing better to do. It's not like they bless a bunch of holy water like Catholics. Come on now.
Yeah, because that's what Catholic priests are doing, touching little boys and blessing holy water.
Hey now.
Oh. No, it's okay. I grew up Catholic too, so I can make those jokes.
Okay. All right, yeah. I was gonna say, man, I was never an altar boy, but I was raised Catholic.
Yeah, I never actually ran or knew a priest personally that had any sort of issues like that, but I did hear about a lot of those kinds of guys. So I understand where the joke's from.
Oh yeah, but we're not getting off topic because I was going to expand upon that, but no, we're staying with the Rebel Media. It's burning down. I'm drinking a beer and I'm watching it burn. Thank you very much. Welcome again to Mad Dodge Productions. Oh, I swear I'll get better at this. I'm telling you.
Right. Yeah. Jesus.
Start being a jock or something, man. Start pulling an ogre and pulling up some music in the middle of the show. You want to jam out this, man?
No, let's not even say that we did. Let's just not at all.
Oh, there went my DJ career. Thanks a lot, Pirate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Radio, man. What the hell?
I'm sorry for saving you the fate of becoming ogre.
As long as I got it. Oh, I already have a cool British sidekick. It's Cabbage. Shit, I'm halfway there.
Oh, God.
I know. I'm full of jokes tonight. It's a short show, so I gotta get some jokes in.
Right. You just gotta throw them out, pound them out, one after another. Doesn't matter if they're bad. Just throw them. That's
right. See where they land. Every once in a while, you hit a bullseye without even noticing it. Come on now. Right. All right. So,
what about this Rebel Media? What else is going on with it? Like, let's see. they're dropping people. Gavin is leaving of his own accord, as far as we know.
I believe it is his own accord. I think they would do anything they could to keep him there. He is their biggest name. I think the rough week had something to do with that. I think Gavin put in his 2-week notice.
Yeah, well, that could definitely be the case. I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm also thinking that there is a possibility that maybe they are getting rid of Gavin McInnes for some reason that we don't know about. And they don't want to tell the fans because it'll just upset the fucking fans that they're getting rid of Gavin in the first place.
How can you call yourself Rebel Media and then get mad when your pundits and news anchors are rebellious? You're fucking Rebel Media, dude. You tell Faith Goldie, don't go to that protest. You know what her first thought was? I'm going to that fucking protest.
Right. It's reverse psychology, honestly. And he says, I like how he says in that video of his, well, we all make mistakes, but then I found out that she made a bacon joke later, and so I got really fucking pissed off. Okay, that's not what he said, but,
It's funny, bet.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking. He seemed really calm and collected, but if you look closely, you can see this kind of like weird twitch in his eye, and you can just tell he's seething with anger.
Oh, you know what that twitch is? I bet you it's the same twitch that the CEO of CNN has right now, too.
Oh,
They're both
shit.
suffering the same disorder, I'm telling you.
Honestly, what the fuck even, like, I have no fathomable idea of what CNN is thinking half of the time.
Yeah, we could pivot a little bit to CNN. I have no clue either. Like, seriously, you're going to talk about 500 Nazis for, a week now? I mean, really? Fuck off, okay? I'm sure there's something else going on in the world. You have a 24-hour news cycle, but you only talk about 3 things. What's going on here?
It's like I said before, it's a dying breed, it's a dying industry, and everybody's making their own sort of moves to try to stay relevant. And you've got some people copying moves because they see it, that they think that it's working for someone, but nothing's actually working. That's the problem. Like, they're all making dumb choices. They're making dumb decisions as a whole. Fox, CNN, Rebel Media, InfoWars, even but InfoWars, like you said before, it is doing better than a lot of other media outlets are at the moment.
Yeah, no, and Voice of One just jumped in the chat, and he had this to say. Faith Goldie is my favorite wannabe porn star, or soon to be. I don't know exactly how he said it, but I agree. That would be an interesting tape. A lot better than Paris Hilton's, I do believe.
Oh, you.
I'm not going to elaborate on that because our YouTube overlords, I am not trying to be edgy or confrontational at all. Thank you.
I am. You could see the STDs radiating off of Paris Hilton in the video. Okay, it was disgusting.
Could you see her posing? That's all I'm asking.
Here's Voice of One.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, so you like those pigtails too, huh?
Oh, she is very, very doable.
Oh, I have a pirate queen, so I don't really look at girls like that anymore.
Lie. Your pirate queen don't watch my streams. You don't have to lie, brother.
No, it's not really a lie. I was a philanthropist all throughout high school when it came to sex, so I had a libido just could not be satisfied, and eventually I grew out of that phase.
That's it, Pirate. I'm putting you to the test. You walk into the room. Faith Goldie and Laura Southern. You know the rest. Yes or no?
No, I'm a faithful man.
Okay, Pirate Queen joins. Yes or no?
Show up. That is a very cold day in hell. Possibly. I don't know. I would honestly kind of feel I would feel a little bit uncomfortable because I've never had a multi-person experience before ever, to be honest about that. So it's just it doesn't it would seem too weird for me.
You say a cold day in hell, but my response is winter is coming. Okay.
Oh God.
Sorry, I had to.
Oh, dear.
Oh, we'll move on, dude. You're getting awkward. We'll move on.
Keep that
what do
Game of Thrones shit.
That's right. Oh, dude, I have a Stark banner on my wall and a poster that says winter is coming. And then I have the map of Westeros and Essos. Yeah, I'm a nerd.
Oh, man.
That's not a nerd. That's a fanboy.
That's yeah, that's like me with Star Wars, except Star Wars is good.
Oh,
Well, 3 of them are good.
Those are
Which
words,
3?
man. First off, come on.
That would be the originals.
Okay.
Anything after that,
Yeah,
the prequels. The
remastered originals might be better than the original.
The prequels are watchable, but the Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens was overloaded with nostalgia, and I'm hoping that they don't do that with this next one, because other than the overloaded fucking nostalgia, I thought that The Force Awakens was actually all right.
It wasn't overloaded with nostalgia. It was a complete rip-off of the original movie.
Yeah, and they had to kind of do it that way. Otherwise, you would have had a ton of pissed off fanboys.
No.
Now you've got a ton of pissed off like true fans that wanted to see something, better than a Death Star that can blow up 5 planets as opposed to fucking 1, but whatever.
Well, that's another thing. There were so many holes in logic in that film. I mean, for a start, you had the lead character who was not only a complete Mary Sue, but also had all the acting ability of a 2x4. You had the black character who, quite frankly, you could have had the same movie if he wasn't in it. You had a football as the robot, and it was just the whole way through, I was just like, get this fucking thing over with. I hated that movie.
I can see why. I can definitely see why.
You want to hear my point of view on that? First off, J.J. Abrams came over and fucked up the Star Trek universe. Correct. And then he bounced over to Star Wars, was like, hey, how bad can I fuck this up?
Correct again. I hate that cunt. That's one Jew that should never get out of Auschwitz.
Oh, ouch. All right. Now, wrapping it all back around, what do you know about the Rebel media other than you want to bang Faith Goldie, their voice?
I know apparently the boss of it was blackmailing somebody. Or no, someone was blackmailing him and he was treating his staff like shite. I know there's 2 different stories going about. And that's about it. I know nothing about the bacon joke, but I know there's something iffy with the management. Apparently they weren't spending the money they raised on the charities. He was skimming it off the top. The boss was.
Yeah, isn't part of that why the co-owner, co-creator, or founder, I guess you would say, left? That, and also they went and they covered Charlottesville.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with covering Charlottesville, but I think the problem was with Rebel was they didn't know what they were. They didn't know what they wanted to be. You know, you had a lot of pro-Christian, old world conservatism against. At the same time, you also had new conservatism and more liberal viewpoints. And I think it was them trying to find those two competing, trying to find the middle ground between those two competing uh, theologies was one of their big problems.
So Laura Southern landed on her feet fairly well, other than the Patreon debacle. But
Have you seen Lauren Southern? I mean, come on. Of course, she
yeah,
was going to land on her feet.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for her to, make something.
About Faith though, do you think she's going to be as okay?
Yeah.
Because now, after that, no, check it out though. After that interview, she cannot go to any self-respecting mainstream media outlet. All right, she has to go the way of Laura Southern and do YouTube, which right now is cracking down. I don't see a lot of avenues for her on the spot, no notice. You know what I mean?
Well, would you really want to go to the mainstream outlets at this point in time? They're down off as quick as YouTube is.
No, I wouldn't. But her skill set, and I believe she went to college for journalism. So where can she really land?
Well, I think she'll be all right as long as she's got a set of ePods.
It took a second because of your accent, but I got you. No.
I'd say she'll probably start up her own blog. I don't know if she'll necessarily use YouTube. She might go to vid.me or Gab or somewhere. I'd say she'll find her niche.
You know, her and Laura did a lot of videos together. Do you think Laura Southern might help her out? Not money wise, but like get her on her channel and, help her land on her feet running with YouTube, unlike us who start from, scratch.
I honestly don't know. See, we don't know what it was like between them two behind the scenes. They might have been I think they've done a couple of reports together, but it's not as if you see her popping up in her Twitter a lot or anything like that. So I don't know what the relationship is between them behind the doors.
Yeah, for all we know, they could just be like knife at each other's throats.
Well, that's it. Women do tend to be a little more competitive. Pardon?
Vindictive?
Yeah. I was going to say a little bit catty, but, they do seem to be more aggressive towards each other rather than they would a male colleague, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't that something though? Not to stray too far off course, but men, when we're challenging each other, we tend to kind of work together and challenge each other that way. Women tend to tear each other down and try and step on the other one to get forward. Not saying that all men don't do that. There's a lot, look at CEOs. I'm sure they stepped on a lot of motherfuckers. But in a general setting, in a group setting, when you're working together, men seem to collaborate a lot better than women do.
I think that kind of depends on the work, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
I would agree, but put the provision of mostly, I would say they work together at working class level and maybe some middle class level. But when you start getting up into the upper echelons where there is a lot of opportunities to fuck each other over, I'd say men are as bad as the women. I'd say when there's nothing to be gained from working class people like myself, we would tend to work together better than the higher ups.
Well, yeah, no, and that's why revolutions work, right? You have the people working together and the upper level not taking them seriously and still squabbling amongst themselves. So, like the French Revolution, for example.
Well, I think you could be seeing an American Revolution soon if things get much worse.
I think we'll be seeing a lot of revolutions soon if things get much worse.
No, voice. The problem with American Revolution right now would be it would be so scattered that it could never really unify. But it would also be so scattered that it could never really be taken out. It would kind of put the U.S. in a limbo state. And I'm hoping that this little speech gets MC to jump on to yell at me for the last 45 minutes we're going to be on here. Because it's a short one tonight. I have man streaming in the morning there, voice. You know what that is. So,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I got to get up and be on the man streaming. But that's why it's not a red eye tonight. That's why we're talking about the rebel media burning the fuck down.
Yep. Oh, going to shit and back. But see, Mad, I personally would think that if a revolution of any kind were to pop out in any of the well, honestly, in either Britain or America, that would spark revolutions in, I think a revolution in America would spark one in Britain. One in Britain would potentially spark one in America. But whenever Britain's revolution kicks off, then the Commonwealth is all going to join in. I mean, the people are sick of the shit that their establishments are forcing on them. So if this does kick off as a revolution, I think it's going to be more of a snowball effect where everybody starts revolting as opposed to, nobody's going to fucking do anything about it.
A bit like the recession that started off in one place and went worldwide. It would be like a fever at a football game. Everybody would just get caught up and want to. I suppose you'd have the people who want to be part of something because it's happening, the people who want to be part of something because they want change, and then, of course, unfortunately, you would have the ones who'd be there just to, well, destroy shit, The only problem I have with any revolution is that it's very rarely, especially in modern times. It was different back in the day, as you brought up the French Revolution. I mean, there was 5 different groups who killed each other off to try and get power. But today, I don't think, even with a revolution, the people who run the shit, they might lose some things, but I don't think they wouldn't get put down. They would, like they did in the past, if you know what I mean.
Well, my question would be, didn't the revolution already start with Brexit, their voice?
I don't know if that was as much a revolution as it was. I think it was a protest more than anything else. It was like, if you remember back in about, I think it was 97, 98, the fuel prices over here went above £1 per litre. And the whole country came out. You had whole haulage firms driving the lorries outside the fuel, what do you call them? The refineries and the depots, and they blocked the whole of the UK until the price came back down again. That was a protest against us being pushed too far, and Brexit was the same thing. They tried to push too far, and there was a protest against it. I honestly, the way people's apathy is today, I mean, at the last election, there was, I think, 48% of people voted, meaning over half the country couldn't be bothered. I think there is and I think it's the same in America. You have the two extremist groups on the left and the right, and then everybody in the middle just couldn't be fucked with any of it anymore. And I think it's that apathy that's allowing so many, like the mainstream media, to take such a hold, because we're at the point now where we don't care. It's not that we don't care enough to fight back. It's just that it's the apathy. It's that, what's the point in fighting back, because it's just going to be the same thing over again. If I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No,
What?
that does make sense. All right. So you correct me before because I accidentally called you Scottish. So you're from Northern Ireland.
Yes.
What was the Troubles a revolution? And I want to do an IRA stream sometime because I'm really interested in it. And I was raised Catholic. I'm atheist now, but it's really something very interesting to me. I don't want to do that tonight. It would take too long. But would that be considered a revolution? South Ireland, correct?
That would have been more accurately an uprising than a. Well, the problem is when they first started out, you see, if you go back to 1912 to I want to say, I think it's the 1955, Ireland won its sovereignty. It got it all back. It was Ireland again, apart from Northern Ireland. Now, that's when the IRA at the time that fought the British to get Ireland back, that made sense. But the Troubles, during the 60s, it was about civil rights here in Northern Ireland for Catholics. But then the 70s up until the ended, well, most of it ended in the 90s, between the 70s and 90s. You have to remember.
Not to cut you off, sir. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Didn't they arrest some IRA members in the 2000s? Like, isn't that still a thing? And then you can continue. I'm sorry.
No, we still have bombs going off now and again, and bomb scares and caches of weapons found. I mean, it's not what it was, but there's still the fringe elements, of course, that are always going to be there no matter what happens. But as I was saying, from the 70s to the 90s when it ended, that period of time, it had went from being anything about North or South, Protestant or Catholic, and it turned into a crime syndicate. I mean, both sides, the IRA and the LVF and stuff, they were all dealing in drugs. They were dealing in stolen goods, weaponry. It became, they were nothing more really than something like the mafia in America. It was all about crime and money. And of course, unfortunately, there were quite a lot of Americans who had never been to Ireland, never knew about the situation here, who were given millions of dollars per year to the IRA and other terrorist groups, which helped fund the whole thing. You know, it's as murky as any situation you're ever going to find.
Since you paused there, I'm guessing you wrapped that up. Do you believe the Pope was involved? Were they given to Catholic charities?
No, the problem is there was very rarely any priest came out in to say that they supported the IRA. I think the church, while they still buried the terrorists that died, they still helped out their family with the death. I think the church did its best to try and stay out of it, if you know what I mean. There were still priests who would cover. I mean, there was a couple of priests who helped the IRA, but the majority of the time, I think they tried to stay out of it as much as they could, because it would look bad for the Pope at that time.
On the other side of the coin, since we're talking about the Troubles just a little bit, what about the Protestants? Were they just as much to blame?
Oh yes, both sides. Again, like I grew up in the 70s and 80s over here, and again, this you do see a queer difference between the city folk and us country bumpkins. You know, I mean, one of my best mates to this day, growing up and to now, was Catholic. I mean, 2 fields away, that's where he used to live when we were growing up. Catholic. I mean, our church is only like 200 meters away from the chapel. So we all sort of got along. And, you know, there wasn't any of the hardcore shit you'd see in the cities. But the Protestants or the terrorists on both sides, again, it might have started out of, civil rights or wanting to unite Ireland or something like that. But in the end, it just turned into a killing match over who was making money. In fact, I'll go one better. There is actually evidence that a top person in the IRA and a top person in, I think it was the UVF, actually met regularly to say, listen, this is our charity. It would be like the mafia and the Russian mafia getting together and, you know, splitting up a city. You know, so there was collusion between the two of them. And then, of course, you had the MI6 coming in, and they went undercover and started doing some bad shit. And that escalated things as well. So basically, I think the proper term analogy for it would be clusterfuck.
Yeah. No, I just always heard it as the Troubles, but first off, I want to ask, is the wall still up? I believe it is.
Yeah, the dividing wall in Belfast still up. Yeah, it'll probably be up forever.
Why do you think so when the Berlin Wall came down?
Well, if you actually see the wall, it's actually part of a bypass now, so you couldn't really take part of it down because you'd have to take the bypass away as well. So a lot of the wall itself, the main wall, has been integrated into other things along the way, and unfortunately, on the two sides, again in Belfast, there is still a lot of the old school still alive. You know, I mean, 20 years, 30 years from now, maybe, but there's just too many of the original haters, the original, I can't think of the right word, that it'll never stop until they die off, you know?
Soldier. Yeah, I'd call them soldiers or terrorists. Maybe would be more proper.
Terrorists would be more proper.
What do you think about the American biker gangs going over there? I heard the Hells Angels has a chapter in Belfast.
Well, I have been a biker myself for a few years back. I never met one of them, and I would be down to charity drives and ride outs and stuff down there, and I've met a lot of boys who own Harleys and stuff like, but never actually met anybody from the Harley or the Hells Angels, and they've never been on the news for doing anything bad. So I don't think it'll ever take off here as the with the bad side of the Hells Angels, the criminality that they have in America, it probably won't pick up here.
Oh, okay. Because I watched like History Channel's Ganglands. They're talking about the Hells Angels, saying they have international chapters, and they had one in Ireland that ran guns for the IRA and shit. So I thought maybe that would have been news over there. I guess maybe
I think that could be a little bit of historical inaccuracies. You know, there wasn't a lot of biker gangs when the Troubles was going on. You know.
Yeah. And now is it called the real IRA now, or is it just the IRA? Or they're pretty
much, that the IRA, the real IRA, the INLA, all the sort of original groups and splinter groups are done. The new, it's an Irish name. I can't remember the Irish name, but there's only one real group left that's causing troubles, and it's got an Irish name, but basically they still want to see a united Ireland, which when you take into the fact that Ireland sold its sovereignty to the EU and the problems the EU is having, the South couldn't even afford Northern Ireland now.
Yeah, for sure. I think the separation is probably better for now. I wonder if Pirate got disconnected or just left. Usually he says bye first, though.
I don't know. He usually has a bit of a iffy connection. He sometimes misses words out. I don't know. His connection mightn't be up to snuff.
Yeah, no, and I actually did good today. I deleted some programs I didn't need, and my computer's running a whole lot faster, so that's good.
I don't really have a lot of programs on my computer. It's just there.
But yeah, anything else about the Rebel Media? So Gavin's leaving. Tomorrow's his last show. They fired Laura, or they fired Faith Goldie. Laura Southern left. Pretty much all that's left at the Rebel Media is Asri and I can't remember her name now. Laura, yeah. Whatever her, the chick that interrupted the play, Hamilton. That's like all they have left there. I think they're pretty much dead. I think we could start making their tombstone. What do you think?
I'd say it'll probably die off soon enough in the next few months, unless they hire in a bunch of new people and give it a new name. But I always thought Gavin McGuinness, with the way he dresses, should have been on a straight eye for a queer guy, or is it queer eye for a straight guy? You know that TV show where you get a group of gay men who would tell a man how to dress? I always thought Gavin McGuinness would have been one of the gay guys, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. I do like Gavin, though. He's a pretty funny guy. And all that chauvinistic shit is hilarious. I don't necessarily, buy into it. I just think it's funny.
Oh, I have only one bone to pick with Gavin, and this was from a couple of years back when Gamergate was going on. He called all us gamers men who couldn't cope with real life, or he had a real go at gamers over 30, if you know what I mean. So yeah, he still winds me up with that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah, he doesn't like adults that play video games. And I own a PS3 and I have my computer and shit. So I was like, oh, fuck you too, buddy.
Yeah, I just for the last 7 months I've been saving up and I got myself a PS4. I have to say there's a lot of difference between the graphics of the PS3.
Yeah, I had a PS4. We had to get rid of it for a while. I'm gonna buy a new one, but I haven't played my PS3 since. Like, the graphics are too much different.
I mean, like, the PS3 came out, what, 8 years ago? 9, 10?
Yeah, something like that.
And, like, up until this, when I got the PS4, I was still playing, Skyrim and Oblivion and, all the big RPGs.
Oh, I love those games. Those are good games. Oh, did Redbeard tell you about that tabletop RPG we're going to be playing? Get yourself a copy of that. Play with us.
No, I never heard of that now.
Oh, Malfarog? I have the book right here.
Mouth frogs?
No. Myfarog. Myfarog.
What the hell is Myfrog?
Mythic fantasy role playing game. It's kind of like D&D, but not quite.
I don't know. It doesn't sound to have a big impact. You know, you say Dungeons and Dragons, and you immediately think of Dungeons and Dragons. But if someone told you, "Hey, frog," I'm going to be thinking of frogs, not this big fantasy
Yeah, right.
RPG.
No, but it's like set in the Netherlands. It's like Norse mythology based. Interesting.
So why'd they call it My Frog, do you think?
Mythic fantasy role playing game. I don't think he had much of imagination for the title. That's what I think. Like freaking Ragnarok or something. Name of that.
Oh, Ragnarok, that's the end of days in Norse mythology.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be a good name for a tabletop role playing game?
Oh, yes, no, that would be a good name. You should actually email the fella and say, "Hey, bye, I've got a better name for you."
Right. But yeah, I don't know if Pirate couldn't have gotten mad. So his connection must be crap. Also on the Rebel Media, I think we'll stop the broadcast. Me and you can BS for a few minutes. I do have a man streaming in the morning, and it's 12:30 at night. So
yeah, it's 8:30 in the morning here.
All right,
I'm
cool.
I'm already up.
I didn't move my mouse quick enough. My stupid screensaver is starting, so give me a second. I really do think the Rebel Media's days are numbered. I think they shot themselves in the foot, kind of like Glenn Beck did. It's taking longer to die. I believe the Rebel Media will die a whole lot quicker than Glenn Beck's The Blaze. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They will just. There's no one left for the young people, you know, and that would have been the. I would say that would have been the between Lorne and Goldie and Gav, and I'd say the 15 to 35 mark would have been their demographic. But now you've only got the old people left, and no, I think that's going to kill them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm 32, and I really liked Faith Goldie and Laura and Gavin. So you're right with that demographic number right there.
Well, you don't have to be 32 to like Faith and Lorne.
Oh, that's true.
You just have to have a heartbeat.
All right. This has been a short stream from Mad Dodge Productions. The Rebel Media is burning down. You heard it here, maybe second, because I've seen other people post about it. So have a good night and good luck.